Joking.
Why so serious? Comic book resources? Why so serious? Comic book resources not happy that the Joker got Golden Globe nominations, despite Joaquin Phoenix's performance being pretty incredible. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about how the Joker is going to be portrayed in a new Frank Miller Dark Knight series. Why is Frank Miller still doing these? The Joker is a big-time Trump supporter. A big-time Trump supporter, and the comic book blogs are running with it, because of course they are. Because the Joker's a bad guy. The Joker is an alt-right Yahtzee. So of course he loves that Trump. So before we get into the video, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants here on CLOWNFISH TV. We're at 82,000 subs. Thank you so much for that. Hoping for 100,000 soon. Want to keep bringing you guys content. So yeah, comic book resources had not one, but two, possibly three or four. I have no idea. Two articles back to back, a day apart, about how the Joker just doesn't deserve to be nominated for the Golden Globes. Yeah, because we don't like the Joker. These guys don't like the Joker. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? A lot of media outlets tried to tank the Joker. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about this Frank Miller comic, which is pretty crazy. This Dark Knight returns again and again and again. I don't know which one they're on, the fourth one right now. Should have quit while they're ahead. The first one is a classic. Everything else after that's been pretty trash. What I've read of it anyway, it's nothing compared to the original Dark Knight Returns. But I digress. Does the Joker deserve its Golden Globe nominations? Joker received 4 nominations. Yes, it did. For the 2019 Golden Globes, to compare with other comic book movies, that's twice as many as received by Black Panther and Deadpool. How dare they, how very dare they give more Golden Globe nominations to the Joker than Black Panther? More unbelievably, that's 4 times as many as The Dark Knight, which garnered a single Golden Globe nomination for Heath Ledger, deservedly so. Heath Ledger was amazing. Compared to all the other great films released this year, does Todd Phillips' controversial blockbuster really deserve its nominations? Let's go through the different categories in which Joker is nominated from most deserving to least. Best Actor. I will give them this one, absolutely. And they actually give him this one too. Practically everything compelling, exciting, and emotional within Joker is rooted in Phoenix's willingness to dive so deep into such a pathetic and twisted character, making Arthur Fleck empathetic without obscuring his villainy, and adding poetic flourishes with various dance sequences. Joker does like to dance. He's dancing mad. Phoenix's work is responsible for the film as a whole, making as strong as impression as it did. We fully expect him to dance on further award season victories, possibly even at the Oscars. I expect it. Best Original Score, they said, yeah, that's okay. Best Picture Drama. We were predicting this nomination, but it's not exactly one to get excited about. Joker is one of the year's best films overall. Or is it? Or is it just a case of great performance elevating a movie that's ultimately rather pretentious and shallow, not actually having much to say about the various social issues it briefly gives lip service to than a "we live in a society" meme, which does predate this movie. Its imitations of Martin Scorsese films feel shallow, extra shallow, when placed up against the actual Scorsese film it's competing against, The Irishman. It's less entertaining than The Lighthouse, a film which the Globes ignored. Well, these awards are seldom fair. I'm going to be honest. They're seldom fair. Best Director. They really don't like Todd Phillips. Todd Phillips' nomination for Best Director might be the biggest joke of all. His attempts in the press to make the movie seem more dangerous than it actually was worked out because there's no other reason such unexceptional work should warrant a nomination. Hey, at least he's not competing against Captain Marvel. I don't think he's competing against Captain Marvel this time around. At least Joker seems unlikely to win the award, but this nomination is still startling. How dare Todd Phillips? How dare Todd Phillips walk off with a nomination for Best Director? But it's funny. His attempts in the press to make the movie seem more dangerous, that wasn't Todd Phillips. That was the media running with this movie and hoping this movie would be more dangerous than it actually was. We've talked about that at length, how the media immediately decided they were going to pounce on this movie, and it seems to be drawn along political lines. It does, and nothing happened with the movie. But Warner Brothers had to shut the media down because they were going out of their way to attach this movie to things it had nothing to do with, really. Now, Polygon's actually fair. Polygon was actually fair. They just talk about, here's the full list of Golden Globe nominations. Joker, Irishman, Once Upon a Time, etc. Rian Johnson's wonderful Whodunit Knives Out gets a nomination for Best Comedy. They really don't talk about it. They're just like, hey, award season's in the air. What better way to kick off the glitz and glamour than by nominating the Joker for a Golden Globe? Joker is nominated in 4 categories. Joker shares 2 nomination slots with The Irishman by Scorsese, who earlier this year threw shade at comic book movies. Looks like we know the Hollywood Foreign Press Association's feelings on the matter. And they just go over, what's been nominated. Very newsy, very accurate. No shade being thrown at the movie. No shade being thrown at the director. They do mention Rian Johnson because they're like, hey, we like Rian Johnson. That's okay. You're allowed to. I've actually heard from people whose opinions I trust that Rian Johnson's Knives Out was actually an okay movie. It was an okay movie. Comic book resources, I think they have a hate on for the Joker. They really do. Or they're just trying to get clicks. That could be too. Now, let's go back. Let's go back to this, which ironically enough, I found out through comic book resources and Bleeding Cool, but this actually came from Comic Perch, I think, on Twitter. What the hell? What the hell is going on here? This is another Frank Miller Dark Knight book, but now we've got the Joker and Darkseid running the Trump campaign. Is that what we're doing here? Is this actually Donald Trump or a parody of Donald Trump? I don't understand. And these poor little zombie kids are like trolls on the internet. This is crazy. Why is Darkseid, godlike Darkseid with all his phenomenal cosmic powers, why is he overseeing a troll campaign? What the hell is going on here? What is going on here? So Comic Book Resource, giddy. They're giddy. Comic Book Resources. Joker is all stars, stripes, and MAGA in DC's Golden Child teaser. So they talk about how the Joker now is the spokesperson for Donald Trump. Is this because the alt-right Yahtzees like the Joker movie? I'm sure Frank Miller was working on this long before the movie came out. So announced in September, Dark Knight Returns, a Golden Child is set several years after the Master Race. Haven't read that one. I did read whatever it is, The Dark Knight Strikes Back, The Dark Knight Returns Again, whatever the hell it was. It wasn't memorable. And because of that, I'll tell you the truth, because of the follow-up to the original Dark Knight series, I swore off sequels to Watchmen too. Like, I'm not going to read any Watchmen follow-ups. I haven't checked out the series on HBO. I said the other day, people were asking if we were going to review Watchmen. I'm like, no, I'm not. Because nothing outside of the original comic series is ever going to be as good. It was lightning in a bottle, and I'm not going to ruin, I guess, my feelings on that comic with subpar cash grabs or spin-offs or whatever. But I digress. That's my opinion on it. So yeah, this is very, very political, isn't it? But this is Frank Miller. What do you expect? Now, Bleeding Cool has more info on this. We've got what is this, like Batman Antifa going on here? They're going nuts over an election. So this is coming from Rich Johnston on Bleeding Cool. Trump is never referred to as Trump. Indeed, he is not a presidential candidate, but here, a governor seeking re-election. Okay. Given Miller's happiness to put sitting presidents into previous Dark Knight installments, this suggests that a change may have come down from on high to amend president to governor. Well, possibly. That bloody Batman damned, still affecting other comics. With Batwoman in the middle of the protesters, yeah, they look like Batman Antifa or something here. Is that Kick-Ass? It looks like Kick-Ass. Anti-Trump Batman mass protesters being set upon by Joker-themed thugs. I'm sure there are good people on both sides. I'm sure there are good people on both sides. Carrie Kelly, previously Batman, and now the new Batwoman, can only see the negative side, but she has to pick one. You have to pick a side. You can't be a fence sitter. You can't be a centrist. You can't be in the middle, because if you're in the middle, you're just as bad as the people who are extremists, according to some people on Twitter. Look at this. Shock combat over a damn election. It's crazy. The whole thing's crazy. The whole world's crazy. So all you can do is fight crazy with crazy. Crush their nuts. Drink their blood. Drink their blood? These are voters? Oh my God, and these are my agents of democracy? Nuts, a mob, a mob. A mob's a mob. It's gonna act like a mob. Oh my God. Gonads, I'll rip your gonads off. What? So I guess I fight a mob with a mob of my own. And as long as my mob wins, it doesn't have to be pretty. Contrast between these events and no more hate anti-Trump protesters are clear from Miller and Grandpa. Wow. Yeah, this is nuts. The shouting and the punching and the groans, the groaning and the gagging and the giggles and the damn giggles and the groans and the gah. But then this is where it's like, where's the chaos coming from? Seems that people have an out, as back in Trump campaign headquarters, Steve Bannon and Kellyanne Conway, Darkseid and the Joker are taking stock with Joker kids working social media. So if you ever wondered who's trolling you on Twitter, we've had some Twitter trolls lately that, they've been ramping up the trolling. So this is what they look like. Right, their kids have been exposed to Joker gas, I guess, or something. So, Commander Minion's Joker, die. It's always die with you, but the Joker never dies. And then he's got Trump merchandise. You put them on your hand, you wiggle them around. They have their hands, you talk to them, and they talk back. You gotta love us, we're the best. Any chance DC might make these official Dark Knight merchandise? Darkseid, we've got one hell of an election coming up. One hell of a product line. With a familiar message for Melania Trump fans on the back. I really don't care, do you? So, I mean, come on. Come on. This is crazy. This is nuts. This is Frank Miller, so what are you gonna do? But, gonna be interesting to see how this one goes over, isn't it? But the Joker, yeah, I think the Joker is going to permanently be associated with the alt-right Yahtzees at this point. They're going to cement it, aren't they? Anyway, the Joker was an event film. It was not planned to be an event film. It's getting near universal praise, except from people who don't like that there isn't enough of a political message in this movie. For the most part, most people have been pretty impressed with it. Some people have been bored, but most people have been pretty impressed. I think Joaquin Phoenix at least deserves his nomination. So, curious what your thoughts are. Leave a comment below. We'll talk later. Thinking about printing your own comic books, graphic novel, or manga? We recommend our friends over at PrintNinja. We've been using PrintNinja as long as they've been printing comics, and both the quality and price is excellent. Mention CLOWNFISH TV and get an additional 5% overrun of your book order quantity printed for free. That's free books, people. Just mention this offer on the phone or in the additional information box on the quote request form. That's printninja.com, or click on the link in the description below. Hey guys, thanks for watching CLOWNFISH TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.